chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
I'll go ahead and start it. Good afternoon. Kevin Hastings, Hunter Yancey, Shock Joxx, coming live from Cherryville, the studios of Cherryville, North Carolina. I'm Kevin Hastings along with Hunter Yancey. Again, I keep forgetting my hat. I keep forgetting I'm on TV, Hunter. And I fix my hair a different way when I'm going to be out in public. I just got it on the non-fixable way.
Right.
And no hat. I guess I could put one of the ones in the studio on.
Yeah, you could just put a helmet on.
Yeah.
Let's make it fun. Let's just put one of these football helmets on.
I'll be getting a haircut next week, along with my son next Wednesday. People's Barbershop. Give a shout out to Mike's been cutting son and my hair for as long as I guess I need to find the music. Shut that guy up. Hey, there you go. How about that? Or I could have just hit the button a little while ago.
Yeah, I could have just hit that.
Good afternoon, everybody. Here to talk a little fun today on Friday, January 17th. Got NFL playoffs and predictions to talk about a little bit today. We're going to do We're going to break it down even more tomorrow with Tom and Terry. Today, Hunter and myself, Kevin Hastings, and we got a little Major League Baseball cheating scandal everywhere.
It's blowing up to be a little bit more than just a little scandal.
Yeah, it's a little, just and people that aren't baseball fans will give you they love it that all this is happening to some of the things is because the old mightier than thou or holier than thou type of attitudes that baseball players play the game the right way,
unwritten rules,
all that stuff, and they'll hit each other for that. I personally think a hits batsman, they should change it to get them two bases. And that would change. Would that change? Unless, I don't know if it's a 9-0 game, I won't change it. But if you get hit in a 9-0 game, you're fighting anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking. You send them out to second base.
What do they do now?
Would that stop a little bit?
If the umpire can tell that it was on purpose, is it an ejection?
I don't know if it's an automatic first warning, or both teams get warned, and then the coaches get mad when their team's warned, and the other guy hits someone, and then they argue about that. I'd almost think, Hunter, nobody yells at the coaches.
No.
The players don't, the referees don't.
No.
But like the coaches
just kind of stand there until they've had enough, and then they're like, all right, let's get out of here.
So the coaches, for some reason in sports, we decided, I don't know when the decision was, can act like complete fools, jump up and down the sidelines,
get in the stands and hit fans.
Just nuts that we let coaches kind of do and say whatever they want for the most part.
Yeah. And
at what point do you just say, like baseball put a rule in at one point, you can't argue balls and strikes, so it's an automatic ejection.
Right.
I think that helps a lot in the smaller leagues, the kids leagues, because you got parents and adult.
The Yankees manager this past season got thrown out arguing strike zone.
Balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Right. And so I
can't even remember his name. He's a young man now.
As a fan, you live on every pitch. Is it good? Is it bad? You know what I mean? And then you get mad about balls and strikes. But I've never been someone to worry that much on ball strikes calls because you have 3 strikes. And I'm always one of the people that wanted to hit and not get a walk too. So there's some people in the batter's box wanting every pitch to be a ball.
Yeah.
And that's not the approach I ever had, or that I would want my teammates to. I won't go up there and swing the bat. But
I want to go up there and get on base. BA. People forget us while I always bring it up. Batting average was still a thing to me growing up. It wasn't, can I go up here and get on base without having to swing the bat? That's, to me, it's like I'm not proving to you that I'm a good baseball player just because I got good eyes.
Let's say, Hunter.
Right.
You got 1 out and a man on third, and your best hitter is up to bat.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather him walk or put the ball in place anywhere?
I want him to hit the ball.
If he puts the ball in play anywhere, he
I want
scores.
him
Unless
to
it's back to
hit
the
the ball.
pitcher or first base.
When
maybe.
you were growing up, who was always the leadoff man? The guy that you knew had the best possibility of hitting the ball and getting on base.
Had
They
decent
always
speed,
and
good batting average.
Your first 4 hitters are the ones that have the best opportunity to make contact with the ball. They don't put a guy in the 3 hole because they're
He's
like,
good
he's
at
going to walk.
walk.
He's
Right.
going to walk. And that'll set up the DH.
Right. Ozzie
at
Smith
4.
don't bat in the 3 hole. How
Yeah.
Pujols and Mark McGwire do.
Right.
Like it's not a. So, and you know, so like you can go to a game, Hunter,
Yeah.
and according to War, I haven't never really because the formula's so long. I
Right.
may have been the greatest baseball player in the history of the world in my senior league season because almost every game, like clockwork, I was 1 for 3 and a walk.
Mm-hmm.
I was almost always 1 for 3.
Right.
Pitching, you know, hitting 90-mile-per-hour pitching is hard in high school. Every kid in our division, except one team, we went against 90. So this is, I'm up there trying to get a hit, trying to get on,
Yeah.
and just because other people on my team, I'm not a home run hitter, but there's 3 or 4 other team or guys around me that can pound the ball, and so I'm trying to get on any way possible. So I would, you know, I batted like 320, 330, right around in there. But like I said, I would always have the one walk, so right around the 5.
Right.
So I guess according to the War and analytics, I'm awesome with my single and my walk.
You go on base twice.
Meanwhile, the other guys could go 1 for 4, and all 4 of them hit a home run. But the analytics might say that I'm better because I got on base twice.
But not how analytics works now, where it's basically home run or nothing.
It's weird.
Aim for the fences or strike out.
The striking out just blow my mind how that's acceptable because you're not. It's a total failure of a play. Like if you strike out, you didn't put the ball in play.
Right.
You didn't move a runner over. You didn't change the defense. You didn't worry. Like if you put the ball in play against a pitcher, he's going to think, well, he hit my curveball last time.
I can't just put
he
it
hit
there.
my change ball last time.
I can't just throw the same ball that I
If
threw
he
him
sees
last
that
time
again,
that
he'll
he made
crush it.
exactly.
So
The thing with baseball that's so weird about with the strikeout, if there's a baseball player now that is growing up thinking it's okay to strike out, then what's the point of even going up there with the thought of swinging?
and
It's okay if I strike out.
and
I'll
as far
still
as
be here.
kids go, like 90% of them can't hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's
No.
usually the overgrown kids of the same age.
man-child. It's the man-child that's 12 years old
Right.
and is almost 6 foot tall.
Right.
That's exactly right.
But you just the whole, and I prided myself on that too, Hunter. I think I struck out 6 times my whole senior year, and 3 of them were in 1 week in an Easter tournament.
If you're listening and you played baseball, I want to know how many people, just type it in the chat if you want. Of course, if you're listening on podcast, you can't do that. But I want to know how many times somebody went up there and they knew if they struck out that their father would be okay with it. I want you to just get in the chat and say, yeah, my dad wouldn't care.
because you swung hard.
Because you swung hard and you missed.
Yeah,
No.
Some of that just
No.
some of that baffles me. So the baseball,
You'd walk off the field, and if you had a bad day, the one thing you didn't want to do was get in the car.
Yeah, I struck out.
Because your dad's going to be like, why'd you go 0 for 3 today?
I mean, you put the ball in play, they can miss it, they can throw it away,
And
they
then
can
the
do
worst
everything.
one is why'd you strike out looking?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good topic of conversation.
That one right there would make a baseball coach mad before 2015, but I don't know now. It's just so it's so weird to me. And you can give me the analytics all you want, but
Right.
you can't have the nerds and the guys who didn't actually play tell the guys who were playing and coaching, you know what? You getting a hit 20, you batting 320 is not as good as batting 310
It's the
extra
whole
walks.
analytics
You know, like-
versus manalytics.
Well, they don't take. I don't think they take into account the whole moving runners over and things like that. If I walk and nobody's on, what did I do?
And they definitely can't take into play what you just said on, okay, the pitcher throws you a curveball, you might pop it out to right field. But now in the back of his mind is, okay, well, if I see him next time and try and throw him this exact same curveball, I've already seen what he did with it. He put it to right field. If he gets a better hit on it, it might go past right field. It might go in the stands. Analytics doesn't tell you what the pitcher's thinking.
Well, or the batters for that matter. So, like I said, you get up to bat. Well, let's use Trout for example. Runners on third, one out.
Mm-hmm.
What is his strategy? Because if that's your best, as a coach, do you want and remember, if he's my best hitter and best player, and there's a runner on third and one out, do I want him to put
the first
do I
baseline.
want him to get that run in, or do I want him to walk? So, I mean, there's a big. I don't know. I think there's just a thing there.
I can just play that out in my mind.
I've talked to one guy, and I've talked to one coach that said, "Well, I would play for the big inning if I can,
right?
But I'll take the run."
Which is it's okay.
But my point of it is if that's your best hitter at the plate,
you should always want him to swing.
that's not your 7 hitter. Is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's okay if your 7 hitters
That's
up
one
and you
through-
say,
your-
"Well,
your batter's
let's
1
hope
through
he
4
gets
right
on.
now."
Let's hope he gets on base so I can
Yeah.
have my big hitters swing the bat."
Exactly.
So I just don't want Bonds up there with a runner on third and one out, not swinging.
I mean, I'm not even a manager, but let me see if you can agree with me on this.
Okay.
So I've got a runner on third, you said, with 1 out,
right.
and I could either have. Well, I'll tell you exactly what I would want.
Trout
If
could
it
either
was
walk
or
whoever. Your best player's at the plate.
okay,
Do you want him
so-
to walk or swing the bat and put it in play no matter
If-
what?
if-
Who take the out?
I remember
whatever.
listening to a podcast, and it's going to go into what I was saying, and they were talking with an ex-baseball player, and he said if you're playing at this level and you want to put that ball somewhere in the field, you should be able to do it. He said, and it doesn't matter like whether you got it right. Like, no, you're going to go up there. If your intent is to put the ball down the first baseline,
I'm telling you, Hunter,
you can do it because you're that skilled. You're at this level.
If
So,
teams
to
would
me-
have ever shifted
Mhm.
on me, what I was really good at is contact baseball. We had this drill in practice where if you got a hit, so
Yeah.
we'd put 9 batters out there.
Right.
If you got a hit, you stayed in the box. It was just one pitch after another. Okay, if you hit the screen, the pitcher screen, it counts as a hit. I hit the pitcher screen like 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
Then I've sprayed a few here and there, just making contact and putting it out.
Yeah.
When they see a shift and don't just slap it that way, like
That's what
Tony
I'm
Gwynn
saying.
would get a hit every time.
That's what I'm saying.
You couldn't shift
I
against
wish
Tony
I could
Gwynn or
remember.
Ichiro. Or
I wish I could remember who the ex-baseball player was.
I could
But
know.
he said, look, if you are at this level, you should be able to put that ball wherever you want to put it when you're up at the plate.
Right
You gotta
side, left side.
Right
You
side,
can
left
go
side.
left. You can do that.
Most of the time, if you just hit it perfectly, it's going to go straight regardless. But so you're telling me I got a man on third with 1 out. I'm going to tell if he's one of my top 4 batters, 1 through 4 coming up the plate, I'm going to say, look, do not look for the walk. If it happens, cool. If it happens, cool. Don't go up there and just blindly swing. But if it's there, I want you to put it down the first baseline. So that way, if anything happens, they're just going to get the force out at first, and I got the man scoring at home.
Yep.
Guarantee me the run. Don't guarantee me that, okay, you're going to be on first. We got 1 out. There's a possibility of a double play ball. I don't want to see any possibility of a double play ball.
So, this is a little tweet I saw about baseball. I think this is kind of apropos.
Good word.
Yeah. So the baseballs are
Yeah.
juiced.
Apparently.
The teams
Are juiced.
are cheating.
Yeah.
The league's drug policy between Skaggs in Anaheim and his death, and possible Mike Trout news on the HGH scene, and then Major League Baseball is also working or looking to eliminate about 40 minor league teams. But other than that, baseball's doing well. Other than that, Hunter.
Other than that,
they're
baseball.
doing pretty good. Like
Baseball
the
is still
the
America's
baseballs are
pastime.
fake. The teams are cheating. They're all on
Right.
either some type of drugs, whether it's performance enhancing or non-performance enhancing. And
Right.
Major League Baseball is going to eliminate 40 minor league teams.
But it's still America's pastime. Still America's pastime. You want to know? So baseball, doesn't start up till about April. That's not counting spring ball, just April. Usually, opening days around April.
1st April, last week of March.
Yeah, 1st of April, last week of March. So in the meantime, there's going to be basketball going on. Basketball is going to be going on during early season baseball. I can tell you which one of those ratings is going to be better. It's basketball. No offense to baseball. I enjoy watching baseball, but I'd much rather sit there and watch postseason baseball than regular season baseball, especially early season. The same thing
I
happened.
so much wish they would expand the playoffs instead of doing
Because I want
the
you
regular
to think,
season so
I want you
long.
to think about it. We're going to get into crunch time NBA, getting close to the playoffs around the start of baseball season. So I'm not going to be watching early season, regular season baseball. I said the same thing when it came to why are you still watching, silly bowl games, basketball season's getting started. I said, well, it's early season basketball.
Yeah.
Or no, I know what it was. I was watching postseason baseball, and early season basketball was starting. First of all, those two sports need to stop overlapping. There's no need that those two sports should run almost a full year with only maybe 2 months, 2 or 3 months off. There's no reason. I'm
Depends how
sorry.
early they
I'm
start.
sorry. Just cut the seasons in half. So for me, it's the same thing. So instead of me watching early first 10, 11 games of the NBA season, because we know nobody tries till the All-Star break, I'm going to watch postseason baseball. And now it's flip-flopped. Instead of me watching the first few games of baseball, I'm going to watch the end of the NBA season rolling into playoffs because that's when they'll try. So baseball just needs to realize, unfortunately, you might be the third and going to be maybe even the fourth most popular sport in America now. Because I know you don't want to hear it, but soccer's rising. It really is. I know North Carolina just got approved for an expansion team. Orlando's getting an expansion. Or no, not Orlando. Miami is. That'll be another team in Florida. Football, XFL is getting ready to start up. It's going to run until at least March.
That's something we got to get into and talk about.
Terry doesn't want to talk about it.
Terry don't want to talk about it
Terry
at
doesn't
all.
want to talk about it. He's like, football in spring. I'm like, so Terry.
Wasn't that your boy kicking footballs today?
Oh, yeah, PFT for Barstool.
Yeah.
I met PFT. Fun factor, but I met PFT at
I
Super
saw
Bowl
one.
Media Day.
I saw a tweet who he kicked one through the field goal. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to make the team, but he's trying out.
Well,
he's good from
I
he's good from 25. It looks
I listened
like.
to the I listened to their podcast, and he basically said if he gets signed an XFL team, he's going to just put his salary towards a charity like a children's hospital or something like that. And I was like, well, that's fine, but if you make the team, it's going to be hilarious. But I mean, they have.
I mean, is he a real kicker, or is he just messed? Okay, I just want to be like, is he like? That's what I mean. Is he like you, who's actually kicked a ball?
No, it's
or like me, who's kicked it in for fun.
Now, see, I don't know if it's like he's actually kicked the ball before,
right?
But I mean, his form didn't look bad. I mean, he might not just have the strongest leg, but his form didn't look bad.
What?
I don't know, but that's something that's coming up. The XFL, and I'm just harping on baseball. Like baseball, I'm sorry, but you need to really, excuse the language, you need to get your head out your ass and just realize that the sport's not what it used to be. With every other sport just becoming more and more dynamic.
I think expanding the postseason and cutting down. I mean, just for me as a fan, like, there's a lot of teams, especially teams, because you play so many games. So in football, you play so little games, so the games matter way more.
I agree.
And people don't think about it and put it in perspective. There's 162 baseball regular season games.
No need for that.
There's 16 football games. That's 1-to-10 ratio. That's an easy number for everybody to get, which means for every football game you play, baseball players play 10 games. So that's why when I get on Twitter during the baseball season, I sometimes quiet or mute some of the baseball fans, because just for example, I've got a couple of Braves fans. They'll tweet about every single game every day.
Sometimes they play 2 games a day.
And I'm like, so if one football game means one football game and 10 baseball games means 10, that means you lost your mind over 10% of an actual meaningful event.
Right.
And then it's just, I don't know. There's just so many games that for me, it's almost, and the Cardinals compete. And our Cardinals fans.
And the Atlanta's starting to compete.
So what we do every year as a Cardinals fans for the past, they've only had one losing season since Yadier got there in 2002. Right. So you kind of keep up with them, see how they're going, how's the roster, how's the injuries up until All-Star break, and that's when you know whether your team's got a chance or not is till All-Star break. Of course, the teams that start out hot, I buried the Red Sox in the first week last year, and they tried to make the comeback, but you just can't start off just like 0-13 and stuff like that.
You can't. But then that's where people will say, "Oh, well, the season's still long." And I'm like, "Well, really, it's too long. If you want people want people to be excited about your sport, you got to shorten it." Because I agree with everything you just said. Why does football work? Because every game is meaningful. Same thing with why college football is just as exciting for some people. Is because there is no opportunity to get into a
NBA
playoff
players
with 9 and 7.
are doing load management to play about 65 to 70 games
Why
instead
don't you cut it
of
to
the 82.
Why don't you cut it down to
Yeah,
65?
there's always been an argument. Some of those sports, the regular seasons are much longer. And see, I think we're going to come to a point, Hunter, where they will reduce it, because and all it takes is one of the commissioners or somebody or one of the owners to be smart about it and say, we make so much money on the TV and other things. At some point, these stadiums have to be either downsized.
They have to be.
Or cut the number of games. Like if you play 162 games, you cut 140 and then expand the postseason. Or
Let me see if I
120.
can find this. There was a baseball stadium
Expand the
that was being used in Texas. I think it's where the Rangers used to play. Well, they're not there anymore. I don't know whether it's because they built a huge, massive new stadium for the Rangers or if they made one a little bit smaller.
Right.
But now it's being turned into one of the XFL teams' homes.
Okay. Well, the Cardinals, when they downsized into the new Busch, the other stadium with the AstroTurfs, and it was one of the cookie cutter circle ballparks, and it was straight up, and they did a great job renovating it when they put the grass in the late 90s with McGuire and those folks there, and they didn't have to do any tarps in the upper deck. St. Louis is a really good baseball town. They did. They put the giant scoreboard in the center field upper deck to take off a lot of it, which helped out a lot. But they still filled up a lot of it. But those upper deck seats were so weird.
I feel like the better baseball towns are places besides, New York. New York is a baseball mecca just because the Yankees have always been, had so much success. I feel like the places that really thrive with their baseball teams are smaller markets that might not have NBA or NFL teams to go see. So I could see St. Louis now because St. Louis, they used to have the football team. Now they don't. It's in L.A. They have the Cardinals. They don't have a basketball team. They might root for Memphis, and they have hockey.
The Rams moving out. The Rams coming to St. Louis was weird. And then the Rams leaving once you got used to them being there and winning a Super Bowl was weird as well. One of the best in that it kind of erases there's a memory that a lot of people won't never get now. Just karate chop my Sharpie across the room. I took a visit to St. Louis one year, and we had Cardinals and Cowboys tickets. Cowboys were in town, so we went and did the double take there. Got to see Emmitt Smith play one of his final years there in Dallas, and so we went to Cardinals games Friday and Saturday. Sunday 1 o'clock game. Well, when the football game got over, our tickets weren't till Monday morning to leave. Well, we were walking back to a hotel, which is across the street from the baseball game. Yeah. Baseball game is in the 7th inning, and they've opened up the gates to everyone. So we went from the football game, walked straight into the Cardinals game, and watched the Cardinals. They were down like 2-1, tied the game in the 9th, and went to extras and won. Right. So we didn't even have a ticket for that game. Yeah. We just walked in off the street with no tickets, and that's a memory I'll always have, and people in St. Louis won't be able to get it. Now, real quick, all right, let's go. I want to get into it more tomorrow, but let's look at it from a different way. The small town teams you're just mentioning and this cheating scandal. Don't you think who are the teams that are caught?
Houston. There's supposedly ties with Boston.
New York.
Beltran, the Mets manager for a day. Then they were like, nope.
3 of the largest cities in the country.
And they said possibly the Dodgers. Yeah. Possibly
4.
The Dodgers.
So the 4 biggest markets in baseball are the ones. Not only are they spending more money than everyone else, because they're the ones getting caught cheating. So how does Kansas City, even Atlanta, they're in a good metropolitan, but they don't spend the money like the other teams do. But
they don't. They're not even underneath a single ownership.
Kansas City or Colorado or these teams just be like, or Milwaukee, and like, how are they supposed to compete? Or how do you tell your fans, like, how do you expect 40,000 people to show up 81 times a year when the other teams are cheating and the other teams are spending twice as much money as your team?
Not only that, but they want them to show up 81 times a year, and it's almost the same thing as you're like, well, why do we have to still pay full price?
That's a good question.
Why are you still
baseball
charged?
tickets should be cheap.
Regular
season baseball tickets.
Cheap. I'm talking lower level, maybe even down the first base line. At most, should be $50.
You shouldn't pay $5 more for an upper deck seat in the regular season.
Not at all.
If and to me, what's weird, and it shows that they would rather have empty seats than lower the prices.
I agree. It does show, and it's a shame. It's a shame because I would think about it. That would be a great thing for families to do if they travel to, say, Atlanta for the weekend. There might be a doubleheader going on a Friday night and a game Saturday during the day. You want to take the family on a weekend trip, come back Sunday. Well, then why can't you afford to go to both games on Friday and the game Saturday? Because the prices are so expensive. It's like, why not? Now your weekend is turned into, we're just going to have to go and do something else Friday.
Go one game.
We're going to have to go to one game instead of three. Yeah, that's what I was getting at is the prices are dumb, and it's funny because it's not like they don't make that money up throughout the season.
Yeah.
Because you also have to take into play, your concessions. You're getting money through the concessions. You got to take into play, people are going to be buying, if you've got young studs, you've got good players, they're going to be buying merchandise. They're going to be buying foam fingers. They're going to be buying the tomahawks, foam tomahawks. You're going to make the money. So why does all of your money really have to be made through ticket sales? Why can't it be made through everything else? Because that's how you're going to make more money, really, is because getting people to the ballpark.
Yeah.
You might make more money if you are an owner of a baseball team by cutting the prices, because then you can sell more for less. You'll sell more tickets for less because people will be like, it's not going to break my bank to go to a baseball game today.
I think what's kept them and football as well from, I would say, just totally dropping prices and abandoning right now is PSLs and season tickets. So if you'll be sitting there in the upper deck and you look down there and there's hundreds and hundreds of seats in the lower deck, but they still won't let you go down there because a season ticket holder bought the rights to those tickets even though they're not using them anymore. There should be some type of, with the way, Hunter, the old days, it's kind of hard to do. But with today's technology, they should have a way. What if they put like QR scans on the seats or something like this?
Yeah.
Well, even if, and they don't even need to do that because they scan your ticket when you come in, so they know what seats are people are there. At the end of third quarters or whatever, or at halftime, or during baseball after the fourth inning, they should have an announcement and open it up in the app, and then you can just immediately exchange your ticket, so you don't have 10 people rushing to the same ticket.
Right.
You can just look. You can hit a button on your ticket app.
That.
It pops up and says, "Seats so and so in level 2 are open right now." I have
no problem with that because you make a great point. Say we'll take basketball for instance. Why do I want to be sitting upper level at a Hornets game when I see almost 200 seats open at the bottom
in the lower
floor?
section?
And usually, if you're not there by halftime, I'm going to expect you're not going to come for the second half.
Right.
Why would you come and sit for a half a basketball game?
Right.
So,
I actually had a reporter do that to me at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
There was nobody sitting there in the first quarter, so I sat down. They showed up in like the third quarter and said, "That's my seat." Third quarter, Hunter. I've been sitting here the whole game.
Who do they work for?
Was
it a local network?
No, it was like NBA.com.
Because I was about to say, what are you?
It was one of those.
If I knew your name, then why would I believe anything you say or write in your report? Because you missed the whole first half.
I know.
You're going to show up in the third quarter and you missed the whole first half.
It might have been one of the reporters that just goes down there and gets a sound.
But it makes sense though too with baseball.
Yeah, the third quarter. Would you move?
If you're not there by the end of the third inning, start of the fourth,
it could be so easy.
Are you
now.
even coming?
Just pull your app up because. Like with the Hornets and Panthers, you got to have their app.
You got to have the QR
to get in. So all you got to do is on your little app is hit open seats, and it shows it, and then you can claim and then walk down.
Yep.
That's all you would have to do. I just fixed the ticketing at the games, folks. Thank you. Send your
Not only that,
cards and letters.
I don't see why baseball or basketball doesn't love that fact. Anyways, how many times have you seen a nationally televised game where there's nobody in the stands?
Right.
Because they thought, more people will come tonight.
Have you noticed
maybe
in the NFL they won't show the stands anymore?
They won't.
There's a lot of times they don't show.
They don't.
Because
NFL tickets are just as bad. NFL tickets are just as bad. They refused basically to show any of the Washington stands when the Redskins would play. I don't blame them.
If they were smart, they would do like NASCAR and do all the seats different colors, so it looks like there's people there. That's what my wife asked us that when we were driving around during the they put on the best Christmas light show I think in the area.
Lowe's
At
Motor Speedway.
Well, it's not Lowe's anymore. It's Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, Lowe's got out of it. So you go around pretty much half the track on the racetrack, and the kids just love it. So I took my kids and the two nephews, and we rode on. And when you rode on, I let them sit in my lap and drive the car, so they actually drove on the actual racetrack. And then you get to go through the Roval.
Okay.
So I bet you go through all the turns in the Roval, and it shoots you back up. You know, the corner where the guy or Kurt or whoever wrecked this year, Elliott wrecked and then won the dang race somehow.
Yeah.
They need to fix that real quick as far as like the timing of if you're leading and you wreck and everyone else goes by you, how do you get replaced back wherever the yellow flag just happened to come out? Like you're in the back, dog. You don't get to go back in the ninth space because that's where the yellow light come out.
I agree 100%.
You're sitting over in the tires.
You got knocked out, man. And we're not going to have a pity party for you and put you back in first. I mean,
he was sitting in the tires. He came out in eighth. Well, I wish he did. But anyway, you come back through the Roval.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, on the camping side of it, where during the races there all the campers are, you go through that a little light show. Now, that light show is tuned into the music that you're listening to at the track, and it moves with the music. So it's just flashy, 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 flashy. Then on the big screen, of course, the largest big screen, is it in the world or is it America? One of those two. Maybe North, Southeast or something.
Did it beat out Jerry World?
Yeah, bigger than Jerry World.
Then I think it is still.
Okay, then they play Christmas movies on it. Mm-hmm. So you pull up like it's a drive-in theater, but you're listening, and they've got it on the radio too. So you can go to the drive-in theater, you can drive through two sets of lights. Then when you leave Hunter, what I think is cool, you go up, you don't just leave the track. So when you come out the track, you go out the backside, and you come up and you drive through the concession area walkways. Mm-hmm. And they got beams and stuff in there, so they put lights on those. So it looks like you're driving through a light tunnel, and it's going to the music too. So even the exit part of it was really cool. The only complaint, I will say this, that I think that we have is that there's no NASCAR affiliation to it. So there's not a single car out there. Like, that with all the manufacturers and cars within 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
That's a perfect opportunity
for advertising, promotionals.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a perfect promotional.
Like, and remember, it's December. Every team out there could put a car out there at the track.
Nobody's racing.
So they put the gift shop in the garage area. You could do half of that garage area with put 10 cars in there in a garage, show fans what it looks like when they're in the garage. That would be cool. You go up and look at the cars, and then have the rest, the hot dog stands and whatnot. But they did have a kids movie inside you could watch, and they got a Christmas Bethlehem type section you can walk through and see kind of stuff like that.
Well, imagine that NASCAR missed out on a perfect promotional opportunity. Imagine
they
that.
usually don't though. They're usually on top of every type of sponsorship possible. But,
imagine that.
All right, real quick, back to the baseball thing before we get we're going to get way into it on Saturday in the morning. Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little Joe Jackson, and we'll talk this tomorrow. Joe, let's see, in the 1919, of course, Black Sox World Series, Jackson signed a confession in 19 stating that he was paid $5,000 out of the 20 that he was promised, and but people that played and look at his stats say that he didn't tank. He had no errors, 12 hits, which was a World Series record that stood for 45 years until 1964. He had the highest batting average for the series at 375. So they're saying if Jackson did throw the championship, his supporters argue he did a terrible job of trying to throw the championship. But Jackson, along with the rest of the team, of course, banned for life. Pete Rose, banned for life. He swears that he only ever betted on his team to win. Mm-hmm. Don't know if you could ever prove that one way or another. Then you look into the quote unquote steroid era when it wasn't illegal against the rules to take steroids, to take creatine, and now the guy's taking HGH and all the testosterone. Mm-hmm. At no point are these guys going to stop lifting weights and trying to put on muscle and taking supplements. So what supplements, we're sitting there arguing about what supplements should and should not be legal. At this point, with the cheating throughout baseball and the way the game is, the 1919 White Sox had to take their World Series away. Will the 2019 Astros have to take their championship away? Almost everyone is saying that they should, except Major League Baseball have not made that decision yet. So what, is an equal punishment? The steroid guys back in the day, in the 90s, none of them are getting in the Hall of Fame, but if everyone in the sport was doing it, how do you delineate who is and who's not?
I was about to say, how do you prove who did and who didn't?
Hunter made a good point beforehand, and this is kind of a Bonds type thing as well. And McGuire, you kind of relate to it, is that even if whatever they're taking, they still have to hit the baseball.
Yeah.
And kind of along those lines of thinking, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a heck of a weightlifter.
Yes.
Braun Strowman, what's
Braun
his
Strowman.
Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Not Strom Thurmond.
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman, I'm guessing, is a heck of a weightlifter.
Very.
He can pick up more weights than Jose Altuve.
Used to train for World's Strongest Man.
But I'm guessing he can't hit a baseball.
No.
So-
Well, I don't know. Mike can hit a little soft pitch softball.
Well, that's totally different.
I know.
But what I'm getting at is that, and Mark McGuire referenced this when he was playing, is that whether or not we were taking things to make us stronger or keep us healthy. See, his argument was he was taking it to stay. He recovered health-wise better. So when you get hurt, he was recovering faster. His argument was I still had to hit the baseball. And the thing with Bonds was he was always a good hitter. He wasn't necessarily a home run hitter. The year he hit 73, and then the next year he hit 49. I think the highest before that was 46, which means he hit 27 more home runs in 1 year than he ever did in the previous year. So, he's hitting 60% almost more home runs than he's ever had, or 55% more home runs than he's ever had in his career in 1 year. So you look at that, and you take a guy that hits doubles off the wall, and you add 30 pounds of muscle, those doubles turn into those home runs.
Yeah.
McGuire was hitting 260 in home runs no matter what.
Right.
It just a matter was he going to be on the field enough to play? So are greenies and amphetamines, is that different than a player taking something else to quote unquote recover?
We'll talk about it more in the morning, but that would be my. I mean, I'm just gonna. I'll put it out here now. I think Tom's listening, but I really don't care about this little. Oh, they knew what pitches we were gonna throw, and he knew exactly what pitch I was gonna throw. At the end of the day, you should be able to hit the pitch.
Now, I agree with that, but I think the way they went about it is the wrong way.
Okay.
If they want to hire a guy hunter and have him stand in center field with binoculars and waving his arms,
yeah,
I don't care. Because both teams know what's going on.
It's noticeable.
But if you're
video
Bill Belichick in the outfield bar,
I agree.
And then sending the whole thing of electronic video signals, and then now the Astros supposedly have been wearing a buzzer.
Yeah, that's what they said. Altuve's
I guess it's basically like a shock collar, for a dog, and they're buzzing each other.
They went to extreme measures. I don't think I just want to buzz.
They're not even just hitting cans; they're buzzing each other. So where he hit the walk-off, have you seen that video?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
He wouldn't let him take his jersey off. He covers it up. He points at his whatever device it is, tells his players as he's coming in, don't rip my jersey, and he runs immediately into the clubhouse before coming back outside to celebrate with his teammates.
Yeah.
I have no problem with runners and people stealing signs that way.
Right.
But I think the way they went about it is just that's the definition of cheating. And the what Brady did with the footballs as a quarterback, someone who's thrown a football, I thought that was the most blatant cheating as you get. You're actually doctoring the freaking footballs. Like that, you're changing. Right. Like LeBron don't get out to go out there and be like, this one's got a little bit too much air
in it.
The referees pick the balls up, drop them down. They pick the play ball out. There's a whole rack of balls, and the referees on almost every level picks the play ball. Sometimes the coaches in high school will be like, hey, we got a couple good balls. Let's play for one of these. You let the referee pick. But at no point does the quarterback just get to lower the air pressure so he can grip it better.
I mean, it all comes down to me saying he still has to hit the pitch. If he knows
That's right.
if he knows a fastball is coming in, there's no guarantee that fastball is going to be in the high 90s or maybe the low 90s.
Or
there's no
it's not
guarantee
gonna be
that
where you want it
There's
to.
no guarantee it's going to be right down the center.
Right.
It might be high in the strike zone, might be low in the strike zone, might be on the inside of the plate, might be on the outside of the plate.
Right.
I can understand when they bring video into it, and it's not just somebody giving them the signal.
I tell you what it probably does.
Because to me, it would be like it wouldn't be as bad to me as if the batter steps out of the box was to even look at the third base umpire or the third base coach, and he was just like, I know what they're throwing, sending him the signal.
we had a system in high school where the
Because
first
isn't that the point of the game?
the
really,
first
to
and third,
figure it out.
the first base coach would yell. If he didn't yell anything, he didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But if he yelled our name, it was a fastball. If he yelled a number, like let's go 14, that's a curve. 70 to 80, 85 miles per hour, that range might not make that much of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, once you get to 90 and above, when that pitcher lets go of that ball, you're swinging. Like
I know.
you almost have
You
to
have
make
to
the
pick
decision
it up right here.
You almost have to make the decision at 90 miles per hour. You're swinging right before he even throws you. Like he's throwing 95. I've got to let this swing ride when he lets go. Hope I'm swinging in the right direction. I think it would help tremendously in Major League Baseball because they're getting up to 195 and hundreds now. To know whether it's fastball or off speed. I don't necessarily know if need to know if it's curve, knuckle, or whatever. But if it's fastball, I need to be ready to get that bat around extremely quick. And I can very well see how it helps. I just don't like the electronic part of it, I think. I totally don't. Like I said, I don't mind if Danny Glover's in center field doing angels in the outfield.
Right.
That's fine. And what I mean by that is that then the catchers or whatever should find a different way to give signals. A lot of people are talking like, what if they did like with pitchers like they do quarterbacks, and the coaches just use a Bluetooth device with the pitchers, and they just fastball, curveball, or pick off, or some type of thing.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
baseball doesn't want any type of electronics in the
Right.
game. They were
they
were reluctant to even bring in a replay.
Was it high school or Legion this past year? We had an issue. I think it was Legion. We had a catcher, and Legion had approved it for the regular season that catchers could wear the Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing, the thing I don't like about the Bluetooth, I like being able to radio in like a quarterback before the play, like before the pitcher steps on the mound. Hey Hunter, fastball, fastball in. Mm-hmm. That right there, I think is okay. The Bluetooth becomes a problem because who controls the connection? Instead, because if it's a radio, everybody can listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a Bluetooth, then who controls the on-off switch on the connection to where? And here's what I mean: once the ball is put in play or the pitcher steps on the mound, I don't think the coaches should be able to talk to him. Like I think the pitcher's off the mound, fastball outside, he steps on the mound and gets ready to pitch. But once the ball is put in play, I thought that was my issue with the catchers having them, is because what if someone bunts, right?
Right.
Pitcher doesn't see it. Usually what happens when someone bunts, everybody in the ballpark's yelling, go, 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 go to the runner. They're telling pitcher, catcher, first base, second base, everyone's yelling something. If you're Bluetooth into the catcher in that situation.
It's underneath your feet.
Right.
Underneath
Ball
your feet.
underneath feet.
Underneath your feet.
Or all in front of you. Left, front.
Right.
Go to first. In your ear is totally different from what the game is made for, where everyone around you screaming, no, or first, or second, as opposed to getting instructions in your ear. So I really don't mind the first, like, maybe calling ball, telling them to play pitches or whatever with the Bluetooth. I was just trying to think if you can do. I guess you'd have to do a three-way call, and I don't know. I don't know the specifics of it, but I don't like the in-game play of it. You can't. I don't think you can control that part. With the technology, maybe not. I don't know. So Hunter don't care that much about it. I think proportionately, they probably should lose the World Series. I mean, I'm not saying I want them to or I care that much to, but proportionately, what happened with the Black Sox? I mean, there's blatant cheating, and they won the World Series. Like, they were cheating. Everyone knows they were. Yeah. If sign stealing isn't illegal, but different forms of it are, and I think the electronic surveillance or electronics is definitely part of those rules. I'm not 100% sure on it, but what I'm saying is that either let it all go or crack down on it all.
Yeah.
It can't be. We're
You
sitting.
can't pick and choose. You can't.
And that's
you
the
can't
thing with
pick
the Hall
choose
of, and
on
that's
it.
the thing on the Hall of Fame. We're sitting here saying Barry Bonds, the all-time home run leader, and Pete Rose, the all-time hits leader, are not in the Hall of Fame. Neither one of them are in the Hall of Fame.
Nope.
But I got to sit here and listen to you guys tell me that a guy who strikes out 20% of the time and has 280 home runs is the greatest baseball player of all time. So there's just got to be a line for me. What are we going to do? So either everybody can steal signs and we don't care, just let them do whatever, whoop-de-doo. But the splits, have you seen the splits on some of these home and aways for these Astros guys during the postseason? It's ridiculous. They're hitting 400 at home and one something on the road. And it's not even close.
Well, if they want to take it away, I'm fine with it. That's fine. Because Houston had back-to-back years where they made it. You thought they would be able to win it. They had every opportunity to win it against the Nationals. They went back and forth. And even then, if it ended up, the game ended, or the series ended, on the Astros' home turf. And they still lost. So they can take the second one perfectly fine. That was an L. It was straight for the Nationals. If you want to take the first one away, I'm fine with it. The question is, does it go deeper, though? How much deeper is it than just, we're going to take away your World Series title? Are you going to suspend players that partook? Because the video shows, if Altuve was one of the players that had one of the buzzers on him, are you going to put a little bit of a ban on him for next season? Not the full season, maybe like a suspension. So far, what they were going to do was ban, the general manager and somebody else in their front office. Well, guess what? The Houston Astros just fired them.
Yeah.
They said, we're not even going to let them continue to stay here, whether they're suspended or banned, anything. We're just going to cut ties with them. The question then becomes, so you've got players that have taken a part of it. Are the Astros going to cut ties with them? Or are they just going to put a little ban on them? And is it going to be the Astros, the Houston Astros themselves that have to implement the bans? Or is it something that Major League Baseball is going to have to implement? Because
they're not
even though
discipline
Houston, of course they won't. But if they have to, and they gave them a minimum, or is it the some people have been saying give them death penalty. So I don't know because now it's the reason why I don't know what exactly to do with the Houston Astros is because now it has spread elsewhere. So other teams are now being rumored to be a part of it.
So Jack McDowell is accusing, have you seen this? Tony La Russa of running a video system in the 80s with the Chicago White Sox. He says, and this is what he's saying. They had the Gatorade sign in center field had a light, and there was a toggle switch in the coach's office, and a camera was zoomed in on the catcher from out there. So basically, yesterday's pitcher would sit in the manager's clubhouse watching the camera, and he would be in control of a light in center field and turn it on and off for fastball, whatever. So a lot of this is starting to come out. It looks like everybody's like, well, if I'm snitching or I'm getting snitched on, everyone else is going to snitch on somebody else. Did you see the manager's lady, the ESPN lady?
Oh, yeah. She said
she is tied to all this, and she's more mad that someone snitched.
That's exactly right. She's mad
she's
someone
an ESPN
snitched.
reporter and a Mets advisor. So she's very much in all of this.
Right.
And her concern was someone told. Not like she said, we were told not to talk about it, and then she was mad someone told.
I don't know. Baseball, I'll just say this. Way to stay relevant when no one's really talking about you right now. Baseball, way to stay relevant. And who knows if this starts to crumble down, the demise of Major League Baseball because of cheating. I heard there's a pro lacrosse league that's trying to get started. So
I just wish we would use and value real stats. How about let's just do that instead of stuff that's made up?
Well, we're on the same page on that.
Like
batting average.
The made up stuff is just weird to me. Just totally weird. Oh, did you get a hit? Yeah. Well,
that doesn't really count.
It's not that good.
I mean, what'd you get on that?
If you'd have got a walk, the pitch would have thrown 3 more pitches.
That's what I'm saying. Why'd you swing on that one? It was perfect. Yeah, I got a double out of it. Next time, just let it ride. All
right. any other comments before we want to hear Terry and Tom's tomorrow? And let them go. We can get into that.
They've already know how I feel about it. I don't. Baseball is too old school for me now.
Mm-hmm.
That I really don't care.
All right, so we got couple of different things going on in the NFL. Burrow says he would happy to play for the Bengals, so maybe that shoots down trade rumors. Murray said he thinks he can play both sports at the same time. And then, what was the other one? I had 3. Dang it, mine just went.
Playoffs?
Not even, wasn't even playoffs. It was Odell Beckham.
Oh, OBJ being OBJ.
Him and Antonio Brown had a bad week, I would say. Brown just Rosenhaus has split with him until he gets counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Odell Beckham, I don't have a problem with the money thing. I had the only problems that I had was when I kind of talked about it yesterday was like only stars were invited to the LSU locker room. Well,
right.
So like over the past 10 years, there's been 800 LSU players, but the only people we saw in the locker room besides the players that were celebrating the old players was stars.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, if you were the backup quarterback 6 years ago, Hunter, and you went to every practice and every game and everything, and you never played, you still feel like that's your school and your team, right? So why does this guy get to come in the locker room but I don't?
But you just mentioned why. It's because he is a star, and because the kids then that are playing, they know the LSU stars. They know the Odell Beckhams. They know the Jarvis Landrys. They know the Patrick Petersons, the Tre'Davious Whites. So they know stars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might have played there. You might have been one of the ones that paved the way for them. Maybe
think about if you're one of the offensive linemen that blocked for the guys every time. Like, you get no credit, and then this dude gets to come in and make a fool out of himself and everyone else.
I'll say this. Odell Beckham, I mean, he wasn't even the only star in there, though.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't. That's what was weird about it.
Ezekiel Elliott was in there, and he's not even he wasn't even an LSU Tiger.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what is LSU's values in all this? What are they teaching everyone and to the fact that...
You know exactly what it is. If you come play at LSU, you can be a star. We produce NFL caliber talents. We are a NFL powerhouse, essentially at the college level. We just produce good players. And if you ask me, outside of Odell Beckham giving money away, just him being there is a good recruiting pitch. Odell stops by, Tre'Davious White stops by, Patrick Peterson stops by. Sometimes they come out here and run camps for us.
But what I'm saying is,
you can be like them.
I feel bad for all the folks who played and helped the program that don't get any thanks whatsoever. You're in Terry's point on that. Only the stars.
No, it's not that.
Only give them credit.
I'll sit here and say this. If there is no ex-players allowed in the locker room, then I would say absolutely stars don't need to be in there. If it is a team-only environment where no one outside of maybe a few members of the media and the players on the team can be in there, then I would be on your side. I'd be like, Odell didn't have any reason to be in there, especially Ezekiel Elliott.
Did they tell anybody no? Like,
I don't know.
I wonder if they did, because that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm the third string quarterback from 5 years, second string quarterback, or let's say I'm a starting safety from 5 years ago and I didn't make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
And all you see on TV is I worked just as hard as they did.
Right.
I went to my classes and I did this and I did that, but they're the ones. Like, to me,
are you just saying that the optics is bad?
Right. I personally, as a coach, wouldn't have any old players almost in there at all, because I would feel like I'm cutting someone off. That this is this team. Ezekiel Elliott has nothing to do with the team,
LSU at all,
for sure. But Odell don't have anything to do with this team, really. None of these older players actually have to do with this team. And to me, if I just went on the field and won a championship, I want the cameras on me and celebrating me, what I did, not, hey, Odell's here. Like, that's a pre-party type thing.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's been a lot of
understand
outrage, not just from you. There's been a lot of outrage through other members of the media that have said Odell turned this from LSU's national championship to it's all Odell.
Right. Well, that was a lot.
Because
I think that's the
not only with the money thing, Odell now has a warrant out for his arrest after
That's the dumb thing.
spanking
Right.
a cop. Or even if it was just a security guard.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
That's the thing, is that's the dumb thing. Like,
And then
he
did
was
you
run out of the
see-
stands. He was run out of the cheerleaders area.
Yeah.
He was run everywhere he went. He was run out of. The money thing don't bother me at all, obviously, but the
Did you see what else? It was like when Coach O was giving them the championship speech in the locker room, Odell cut him off.
oh my god, and he didn't even play for him.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
He played for less.
like
He
it's
didn't even
really.
play for
It's
Coach
just
O.
really the whole LSU situation was really weird. It was, I don't know. It wasn't a celebration of the current players as much as it was.
The only player that got celebrated was Burrow.
Let's just have an LSU party.
The only one that was celebrated was Burrow, but that's because he had such a phenomenal night, and he's possibly going to be the number 1 overall pick. So I don't get it why Odell did that stuff, but unlike you, I'm kind of like, well, I am like you to an extent.
I just think it's bad optics for the old players.
It is bad
and
optics.
the team.
If
Like, wouldn't you
Coach-
rather have your mother if you just won a championship?
Yeah, I'd rather.
Would you
have
rather
my
have your
parents there.
mom or dad in there than Odell Beckham?
Well, I don't know. If I'm under the age of 21, I don't want them seeing me smoking a cigar.
That is a
Yeah,
you know,
that's just out there.
It's
That's
a-
something else.
it's such a weird story. That part of it is because it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
That
Because that's why the security guard was in there.
well, first, yeah. Well, I mean that's his job is
Yes.
is to secure the room, but you know, whether or not they were celebrating or what, however you want to feel about it. And I personally feel that anybody should celebrate however they want. And if you put whatever, especially at 21, whatever you want to put in your body, I'm more than happy to let you do it.
right.
That's you. If you want to drink turpentine, whatever you want to do. That's. But when, and the thing about it is, and the situation is the law to where, whether or not you think it's a good law, the rule is that someone is paid and has a job to enforce those rules and laws.
Right.
And he was a security guard. He wasn't an actual cop, but either way, he's getting paid to do that. And he's not, and under his job, there's no description under, these millionaire athletes thinking they run the place, slap me in the butt. Like,
Right.
And so I totally see the security situation on that and what they were doing, because you think about it, there's no smoking indoors, first of all. There's no that obviously they weren't going to let any underbody 21 drink from the beginning, and now the new smoking rules. So there's just a lot of things there to enforce. And like I said, you can argue whether or not you think those rules are right or not, or whether you should do it or not. That's the actual rules. And the whole thing of the country, I can take a bullet for the country, but I can't have a cigarette before I take the bullet, or a sip of whiskey before I take the bullet. I can vote, but I can't rent a hotel or get a drink or whatever till you're 21 to 25, and it's just, I don't know, that you're supposed to be free in this country, and I understand the people's arguments on that part, but you got to realize that just because you won something or did something doesn't give you the right to break the law, whether or not that law you believe that law or not. That's what I'm trying to say on that. So the money thing, what I thought was funny about it was that at first they said it was fake money, which means he was LSU trying to put on Odell that he was passing out counterfeit money, which is illegal. So they had to walk that back and say, at first we thought it was, and now we realized that it was real money. So now they got to figure out what, if any, rules were broken and how to go back and fix it. The fact they've lost, half their team already and coaches I don't think it much matters.
Nothing matters. That's been the biggest question mark. I've seen people saying all the time, okay, LSU did it. Coach O did it. They won a national championship. Now the question is, can they sustain it next year? They don't have Joe Burrow. They're losing top receivers to the draft. They're losing top defensive players to the draft. They're losing their assistants left and right. So that should really be the focus now. It's like, okay, celebrate it. Enjoy that you won the national championship. Where do you go next? Not, has anybody seen Odell? They're looking for Odell in Louisiana. Has anybody seen Odell? That's, I don't know. Just
Odell
is in quite a predicament. And he just is fine with getting himself in that all the time. It's not like he should be catching passes from Baker right now, trying to work on
I just love this headline.
Yeah.
New Orleans police arrest. It's issuing an arrest warrant for Odell Beckham Jr., charging him with simple battery for slapping the butt of a security guard. That's just fun to read out loud. All together. Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Baker Mayfield. In 30 games,
Yeah.
4 head coaches
Yeah.
in 30 games. 4.
Four.
Three quarterback
Oh, yeah.
coaches and 2 GMs in 30 games. And and this year he had 2 wide receivers over 1,000 yards and 22 touchdowns. Now, the picks is a problem. I told you I think he's throwing the picks. I think he's running for his life, and it just happens. But, no team is going to be good with 4 head coaches in 30 games.
Well, that's any franchise. Any franchise, because there's no stability.
Yeah.
And when you don't prove to other coaches that you're willing to stick with them and give them a little bit of time, what makes you think the guys that are out there really want that job? They're like, it doesn't matter whether or not I get signed coaching at the NFL. Because all right, take an example for this. Let's just say Coach Joe Blow. We'll just call him Joe Blow.
All right.
Joe Blow has got 2 coaching offers on the table.
Mm-hmm.
He could be an NFL coach for the Cleveland Browns, but there's no guarantee he'll make it after the first year.
Mm-hmm.
Or he can go coach at the college level. Let's say it's a Big Ten school. It doesn't have to be Ohio State or any of the bigger schools. Let's just say he's got a Big Ten offer, Nebraska. He could go be the coach in Nebraska and gets at least a guaranteed 4 or 5 years. Which one would you rather take?
It depends what your goals are in life. Most
I
people are
agree.
going to choose the
Because a lot of people are going to do
money.
guaranteed and job stability.
Right.
Because he's going to have an opportunity to go in, implement his ideas.
Depends if you got a family
and not feel like he has to look over his shoulder every game after every game and go to the owner and explain why this didn't work and why he should still be able to coach past week 7.
This is my pet peeve of the day, Hunter, and this goes out to media, and I don't know how to fix it, but for some reason this grinds my gears,
grinds your gears,
burns my britches,
burns your britches,
burns my britches.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna read this sentence and see if you can tell which part I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid has the opportunity to make it back to the Super Bowl for the first time in 15 years.
He has an opportunity.
No, I hate when we do the stats. First time or second, that we never say this is the third time in 20 years. We always say this is the first time in 9 years. Like, okay.
They don't give him credit for the fact that he's been there before already.
Right. It's just, to me, we always cut it off at the line. Wherever the line is, 15 years. That was his last time. But did he make it before? So would you say, he's only been once, right?
Yeah, he's only been once.
That could easily read Andy Reid trying to get back to Super Bowl for a second time.
Yeah.
Not first time in 15 years.
It's over.
Nobody ever says Andy Reid trying to get back to the Super Bowl for the third time in 15 years.
It's
See what I mean?
It's over dramatization. That's
right.
Exactly.
It's
what
just
it
a
is.
weird way of wording it. That's a journalism complaint for me. That's my burns my britches of the day complaint.
Burns my britches.
That's my tweet of the day. For some reason, the wording on that, it's like fingers on a chalkboard for me. I can't ever decide why or explain why that bothers me so much, but it does. Let's see. Scrolling down my tweets of the day while I'm trying to. What else is on your news and notes? We're going to have a quick show today, folks. Got basketball tonight on KTC. Then we got the show tomorrow.
Quick show. I mean, other than that, I was just thinking. I don't know if me and you wanted to just go over the conference championship games this weekend.
Sure,
I
we can. Quick touch for tomorrow.
Quick touch on that. As we can do a quick touch on how bad the North Carolina Tar Heels are going to be the rest of the season in basketball. That might take up more time than we really want it to. But did you see Cole Anthony is trying to make a return back to the basketball court? Is that a smart move by Cole Anthony?
Is it going to get him in the tournament?
And see, I don't know.
If it does, yeah. But if not, why? Like why? I don't see why.
We can do that story.
Yeah. Real quick, Kyler Murray thinks he playing in Major League Baseball and NFL at the same time. folks that don't remember Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, and of course nobody ever brings up or remembers the great Brian Jordan used to do that as well. Haven't had a quarterback do it. Totally different preparation that you would need to do.
Russell Wilson went to, I think, spring training.
Right.
But
not
a full season.
Not in the middle of the season. He's playing baseball when he's supposed to be studying coverages and blitz reads.
Right.
So the way football is today, I don't know. I could ever see a quarterback doing it like that.
Now I would say he's okay to do it if he wasn't only going into his second year. If he was maybe a little bit more seasoned, maybe
I don't think they can do it at all. Because,
maybe even
because of the
year
preparation.
6 or year 7.
Hunter, as soon as he hits 250, the baseball fans are going to be bitching that he's not concentrating on hitting and watching his team and watching pitchers.
Right.
And the football fans are going to be bitching that he's not watching DB's film or whatever.
Well.
There's going to be whatever team he's on. I guess the A's control him.
Yeah, the A's. He was taken at the ninth pick by the A's.
Right.
So he's a top 10 pick.
I'm not saying he couldn't do it. I'm saying the fan expectations and the coach expectations, the team expectations would be way too high because he's spending his time doing something else.
That would be the thing is, would Cliff Kingsbury be perfectly fine with his second-year quarterback going to play baseball?
As small as the kid is, Kyler, do what Tebow did. Play football for 7, 8 years, whatever. I don't know how many. Did he get 6 in?
I don't even know.
Well, Kuechly retired after 8. I mean, Cam has played 9.
It's not like he couldn't just retire now.
That's what I'm saying.
If he wanted to. His signing bonus was $23 million.
Play 5 or 6 years, see if you get beat up a little bit, how much you like it, and then you go play baseball at 26, sit in the outfield the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, I know he probably would like to play shortstop, but buddy,
that's too much work.
Just play center field or right field. Play right field. Just go over and stand in right field.
Sure, he'd be a pretty decent outfielder. Good field.
I mean, if he wanted to give it a shot,
I'm all for it. I'm just saying I think the fans would just of the team, the A's and the Cardinals fans would not be happy at all.
Well,
and then the Cardinals fans are Diamondbacks fans, and
couldn't they put him on a kind of like how they do a 10-game contract in basketball? Wouldn't they be able to maybe do like a 10-game contract in baseball?
I don't know as far as
without him having to go to the minors.
Yeah, he would have to sign an original contract unless there's an age cutoff to where, like, say with Tebow, to where nobody drafted him, I don't think, or nobody controlled his rights at that time, but to where he can kind of do what he wants. I'm not 100% sure on the rules on that. But I think he could do it. I just don't think he would.
Because the thing is,
I don't think he could do it in today's game because the coaches wouldn't want it.
I mean, just think about it. We just sat here and talked about what's 10 games to a baseball team, really. If the A's wanted to do it as a publicity stunt, generate a little bit of enthusiasm around it, why not? Why not play him for 10 games? Sell his jersey. Who cares? Be the most sought after jersey ever if they don't make a lot of them. Did you get Kyler Murray's A's jersey? Dude, I saw one for sale on eBay the other day, $300.
So, Hunter, people would tell me that Romo wasn't no good because he didn't win the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean that Ryan Tannehill is better than Lamar Jackson? Nobody on the street is going to tell me that, are they?
No,
nobody.
I'm not even going to tell you that.
99.9% of people are not going to tell me that.
Well,
but then I'll say Ryan Tannehill has 2 playoff wins. Lamar Jackson has none. So, yes, he's played longer ball, but I'm just like, this year he's got 2.
Yes.
So if he wins another one, this year, if he wins Sunday against the Chiefs, Tannehill will have the same number of playoff wins as Cam.
Yeah.
If he wins the Super Bowl this year, he'll tie Nick Foles with four wins in one. No, Nick did it 2 postseasons.
I'll say this about what Ryan Tannehill has on Lamar Jackson, and I'll just be honest with you, and it's experience. Lamar Jackson, for as great as he can be at times, let's not get it twisted. And it's the same thing with Josh Allen. I said the same thing about Josh Allen. He's in his second year of football.
Mm-hmm.
He was a rookie last year. This is only his second year, and they went 14-2.
Yep.
So the team is not only him. I know the team around him is talented. He's got a great opportunity, but let's not act like Tannehill came in off the streets. Tannehill was a starting quarterback in Miami for a long time. He has been able to beat New England a couple times with Miami.
Good running
not only
game.
with not
No
only
turnovers.
with the Titans, when he took over for the Titans this year. He went 22-6, 22 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
Tebow proved you can win playoff games by being able to pass, and so did Trent Dilfer at 47% when they won the Super Bowl, as long as you don't turn it over.
Yeah.
It's the turnovers that are the killer, and that's one thing.
I think in both games, Baltimore and against New England, he had one interception. I don't know if he had an interception against Baltimore, though.
I don't think they turned
Because
it
he
over
only
against
threw,
Baltimore.
but then again, he only threw the ball for a total of like
like-
160 yards in 2 games.
Yeah.
So I can sit here and technically make an argument, and this would be very technical, that Ryan Tannehill should be better than Lamar Jackson, because Ryan Tannehill, if I'm not mistaken, is on year 7 or year 8 in the NFL. So he's seen it before. And it's
Right.
not like this is only his second year as the starting quarterback.
Right.
He just rode the bench for the first 5 games.
Well, one of these 4 guys is going to be a Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm.
One of these teams.
Yes.
I mean, it's nothing. We're going to have a new champ. No Patriots. No. Rodgers can win his second when we back up a second.
3 out of the
3
4
out of 4 could be first-time champions
this decade.
for the players.
Let's
Chiefs,
say this decade.
I mean, Titans don't have any Super Bowls. Chiefs got 2. No, did they get one? I think they got 2 in the early years. Maybe just 1, but it might be 2. I could easily look it up, couldn't I, folks? I'm not
we
going
have
to.
the technology, but we just don't want to.
Packers and 49ers, of course. 49ers, I think, won 5, and Packers have 4, I think. I could, instead of thinking, I could just look it up. But
Yeah, but where's the fun in that, you know? No one wants to sit here and say, wow, he was dead on. They want to be able to say, you were wrong. You were wrong. Use
Yeah.
technology.
it ain't even showing by team. Yeah, people do want to yell at you on the internet.
They
no
love
matter
it.
what you do or say.
They love it. No
it's
matter
just-
what we say, you should have known. You're the sports guys. Well, tell me who won the Super Bowl 5 years ago off the top of your head. Because I promise you I can't without looking. Because let's see, what's this year? 2019, 5 years ago was 2014.
Mhm.
So it was whoever won it the year before Cam was. It was probably the Patriots. I don't know. No, it was Seattle. 2014 was the Seahawks.
Okay.
Double check me, please. Please. Please.
Well, the internet's being slow right now. You got to use your
we'll
internet machine over
We'll
there.
see if I can figure it out.
Yeah.
2014 Super Bowl. I feel like it was won by, because the way I'm doing this is 2015. If I'm not mistaken, that was Cam Newton and the Broncos, and that was
2015 was the MVP season, but it was the 2016 Super Bowl, right?
No. Seahawks versus Broncos.
Something like
okay,
that.
so it was Seattle. I was right.
All right, so 49ers have 5.
God, that was a big win.
49ers and Dallas have 5. Packers 4. Chiefs do have 1. They're 1-1. Are the Kansas City Chiefs losing to the Packers in the first Super Bowl? Maybe they're 1-2 and they didn't count that first one because it wasn't called a Super Bowl.
What were Super Bowls called
looking
before that?
It was just NFL championship game.
Just a,
There was an AFL and NFL championship game. So the first 2 is actually the first 2 weren't called Super Bowl. I think it was the third one when they come up with the Super Bowl
there's
name.
your history today, folks.
Yeah, I
There's
think
your
it was
history.
the first 2, at least, that it was not named the Super Bowl. I said Titans don't have 1. Like I said, Packers have 4. San Francisco 5, and the Chiefs, of course, 1 again. Off top, all right, we're gonna pick them tomorrow. Just gut feeling, real quick. Do you know who you're gonna pick
Yeah.
for the weekend?
Yeah, I know.
Who you got in the Super Bowl then?
Super
We'll
Bowl
go
is
ahead and
Kansas
jump to
City
you.
and San Francisco.
So he's picking the red Super Bowl.
Red Super Bowl. I've got the Chiefs and the 49ers.
Now remember who I picked last week off the advice from Skip and Colin. They're leaning towards them again. Chiefs have the 26th run defense
It's bad.
in the NFL.
It is bad.
It's got to worry you. And the Chiefs have no run game.
And the Chiefs lost already to the Titans this year.
Yeah, Titans already beat them.
By 3 points.
Yeah, that's not much, but they've shown the last 2 games. If they can't, other teams can't stop the run, it's not going to matter.
Can't stop Derrick Henry. But at the same time, if you can't stop Derrick Henry, I don't guarantee that the Titans can stop Patrick Mahomes in
Well,
this
that's-
offense. So, in all honesty, I could see this being kind of a shootout.
Hey, don't please remember.
Don't remember.
Yeah, don't remember.
Don't. I'm not.
The Patriots last year gave up 3 to the high-powered Rams in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Always try to lean towards a better defense. But with that said, how are the Chiefs so good in scoring defense? They're 6th in scoring defense, but 26th in rushing. So does that mean the other teams just pound the ball in the first half and then the Chiefs blow them out in the second?
I guess. I don't know. Because I'll be.
There's something to that stat. You're the 6th best scoring offense, but 26th against the run.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who they played this year that had really great run games. They beat Baltimore this year, and Baltimore had a great run game. Tennessee has probably the best run game in the National Football League, and they got the Chiefs. So I don't know. I've been hearing the talks all week. I know Kansas City, this is going to be difficult for them if they can control the rock with the Titans. And I'm just going to sit here and tell you, I hear what you're saying. I saw what they did against Baltimore. But I'm still taking Kansas City and the Chiefs. I'm still going to take Patrick Mahomes to face off against the 49ers.
I had the Chiefs. I picked them after the Patriots didn't get the bye. I picked the Titans. I picked my upset over the Titans.
Man,
but how many times do you go out on that limb and pick another upset?
Chiefs have been my Super Bowl pick since the beginning of the year.
Right.
And the stars are lining up. And if they can come back from being down 24-0 at the first quarter against a more explosive offense in Houston than Tennessee's, then to me, Kansas City can beat anybody. I mean anybody.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. It's just going to come down to, can Derrick Henry get you 180 yards again? He's done it in back-to-back games. I don't see why not, but...
All right, Hunter. Anything else
Nope.
for tomorrow?
Nope.
Tomorrow we're going to really get into the penalties in the baseball. I'm sure Tom and Terry will have a lot about that, and then we're going to break down these games as the best we can tomorrow. I want to be quick today. We got basketball and everything to do to get to tonight. And here's the tweet of the day.
Tweet of the day.
I know you're not a big wrestling fan, but let's see if you know this guy. You remember Al Snow?
No.
Okay. So Al Snow his gimmick was that he's crazy,
Yeah.
like just nuts.
Right.
He would carry around. Let me get you a picture. A mannequin's head with his name written on it, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll have to.
I know what you mean.
So, remember, he's crazy.
Crazy.
That's his gimmick.
Yeah.
So his tweet of the day is, I don't follow him. It just happened to go through. I laughed when I did. It's just funny. I'm trying to pull up a picture to show Hunter. All right, her head says "Help me."
Help me. Oh, wow.
It's what.
So it's
the
not his
mannequin's
name.
head.
It's Help Me.
I think it says "Help me." That's what it looks like to me. Al Snow. He's nuts. That's funny.
What's the tweet?
All right, I know you want to know the tweet. I got you on the edges.
I want to know what this tweet is. From a guy with a mannequin head in his lap. See how crazy it is.
That's him and his mannequin. But all right, so the tweet of the day goes to Al Snow. I just met a woman outside of Kohl's crying because she had lost $200. I decided to give her $40 from the $200 that I just found. When God blesses you, you must bless others. I'm going to read that again. For the people that didn't quite get it. I met a woman outside of Kohl's crying because she had just lost $200. So I decided to give her $40 from the $200 that I just found a little earlier. And because when God blesses you, you must bless others as well. He didn't give her 100 of it. Or the other 200, or all of it, Hunter. He gave her 20%. That's a basic tip at the restaurant.
That's almost like penny for your thoughts.
Al Snow, man,
That's funny.
It wasn't that great of a restaurant or that popular, but just funny nut stuff.
That's funny, man.
Yeah,
That's
real
funny.
quick.
That's funny.
My Panthers fan tweet of the week was the guy who threw his Kuechly jersey in the trash. Said, "Kids, this man is not a role model. He is a quitter." If you sign a contract as a man, you should honor it no matter what.
Okay. Okay.
All right, before we go, real quick, little
Yeah.
thoughts on it, because I don't want to hear Terry and Tom's thoughts on it.
Yeah.
The sadness of Kuechly, he's also losing $21 million
Mm-hmm.
of the back end. What about the money he could have made in college when he getting him? We don't know if he had concussions in college.
Probably did.
You know,
It probably
And he-
did. Look
and
at how many
millions
look at
of
how many
dollars
times
has
in a
he
football
lost?
game he is at the center of the defense,
Linebackers hit every play.
just getting hit every single time.
Every single play, linebackers hit. All right,
So-
folks. Anything else there? You want to look at Mike Trout's year before, year after.
Yeah, he's on
Back-to-back years.
He's on something.
Pencil neck. I guess that's his thyroid problem.
Yeah, I guess. Look it up, kids. Look it up.
All right, we're going to talk Hornets and more next week. They play Monday night at home. We'll have some news and notes about that. See you guys next Monday for the,
Getting
for the
time for
Shock
more
Joxx
NBA.
podcast. On Saturday, though, tomorrow morning, live right here in studios, myself, Hunter Yancey, Tom Cinefani, and Terry Reinhardt, and we'll be getting more in depth on this baseball cheating scandal. We'll be talking, we'll give our playoff predictions. We'll talk a little bit about the championship game this past week, especially those North Dakota State Bison. Got to talk about them.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Terry and Tom have any more comments. Anything else on the NBA that they want to get into, maybe. Maybe Terry might want to say something about Kyrie. Yeah, I bet he wants to throw him under the bus right now, don't he?
I bet he does.
I bet he does. All right, folks. For Hunter Yancey, I'm Kevin Hastings. Y'all have a good day, good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on ktcbroadcastings.com.
And Shock
on the
Joxx will be
internet.
live again Monday.
We'll be live Monday for Shock Joxx, and then tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow morning will be Saturday morning sports talk. Listen to the same channels. You can also listen on the radio on Saturday mornings, but not during the podcast. See you guys tomorrow for Saturday sports talk. Monday for Hunter and I on the Shock Joxx radio or podcast. We'll see you guys. Thank you for listening. KTCBroadcasting.com.